Bismillah wa salatu salam ala Rasulillah. This Ramadan, we begin with suratun a surah many of us recite often, but rarely pause to understand deeply. It is a Meccan surah revealed at a time when the Quraysh believed in Allah but rejected accountability. What troubled them most was the idea of resurrection, that life would not end here, and that every soul will be questioned. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala released the surah to confront their doubts, silence their mockery, and establish the reality of the hereafter. The surah opens with a striking question about what are they asking one another. It's not a sincere question, but one rooted in denial. So in this series, we will inshallah go verse by verse, uncovering the meaning, the context, and message behind the words of Allah. And then we begin where the surah begins, with the great news. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Amma yatasa'alun. About what are they asking one another? Now, Allah opens the surah with a question, not because he lacks knowledge, but to draw attention and create seriousness. The Quraysh were arguing, mocking, and debating amongst themselves. Some believed, some doubted, and some denied completely. So the tone here is to rebuke plus alert. Do you even realize what you're questioning? Do you understand? It's like it is a rhetorical question, and a rhetorical question that is trying to make them understand the gravity of the question they are asking. Now, what does the word Itasa'alun mean? There are a lot of opinions about what the word Itasa'alun means. The first opinion is the basic meaning of the word. They are asking one another. But then it has other opinions. Some say it is a duplication of the believers being asked by the disbelievers. And another opinion says it is a discourse between the disbelievers. Another says a it is a question that's been asked by both the believers and the disbelievers to the Prophet Muhammad. But the most accurate and the closest logical opinion is that this discussion was happening amongst the kuffar. Now, in language, when you ask somebody a question, when you ask a question, it's either because you're curious, you truly do not know, or the intent for asking is to undermine or wage sarcasm at someone else. What we learned in the beginning of this surah is that Allah has taken offense to their sarcasm. The kuffar poked a lot of criticism and sarcasm to the Prophet ﷺ. Then Allah says, "Ani naba'i about the great news." Now, in Arabic, what does naba mean? Naba, the literal meaning of naba is news. But then there are two words for the word news in Arabic. There is the khabar and the naba. Now, what is the difference between the two of them? Naba is a news, a great news. It is an enormous news, a news that shows that is weighty and alarming. It is a word that is used to talk about huge events. For example, what happened in the people of the past. And it's also a news that demands a reaction and action. For example, when somebody comes to you and tells you about how your house villa, we don't pray for such, your house is on fire, you know, immediately that news would demand a reaction from you. It would demand a reaction and action from you. But then on the other hand, Hubble is just a a news information, an information that doesn't change anything about you. For example, somebody telling you that so person leaves this house at so time. It's not serious news. So that is it. Now the scholar said, this great news primarily means the day of resurrection. It's primarily talking about the day of resurrection. Everything tied to it, the judgments, accountability, paradise, and hellfire. Now you might wonder why Allah used the word great. It is because nothing after it matters more. It determines eternal success or loss. Then Allah says, الَّذِي هُمْ فِيهِ مُخْتَلِفُونَ, that over which they are in disagreement. Now, this ayah is an adjective of Naba. It's just trying to tell us more about that Naba al-Azim that he mentioned, that Naba that he mentioned in the former ayah. The way this ayah is structured is, it shows that it is something they do all the time. And then, if you notice, there is a prepositional phrase that was used here, fihi. This phrase produces a shock. Is it really about what they are disagreeing with themselves? Now you might ask, what is ikhtilaf? Ikhtilaf here means to have a discord or friction within one's own self, which implies they weren't just in disagreement. There was uncertainty. They were not united in belief. Some said resurrection was impossible. Some said it was myth of the ancients. Some were unsure what followed the society. Regardless, so Allah highlights their confusion, not lack of evidence. It wasn't because truth was unclear. It was because their hearts were unwilling. Now, I don't know if you noticed the pattern of this first three verses. First of all, Allah asks the question. Then secondly, he answers. Then third, he describes. This shows that the Quran is structured in a deliberate pattern. It opens with attention, then clarifies, and then it diagnoses the problem. The next, Allah says, "Kalla sayalamun, thumma kalla sayalamun." Nay, they will soon know. Again, nay, they will soon know. Now, what is this? What does this word kalla mean? This kalla is a sharp rejection. It's a sharp rejection. It means stop, enough. This is false. Enough. Soon they will know. You get what I'm saying? It is the word here is associated with haqq. Truly, you're going to find out. Just like you say, no, 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 no. This cannot be happening to me. Like, no, you are it's to exaggerate it. You're trying to exaggerate the situation. They also know. Then you might wonder why the repetition. It is because Allah wants to intensify the warning, to remove any illusion of escape. It is to show certainty upon certainty. Scholars say that the first refers to knowing as death. It is then the second refers to knowing at resurrection. This repetition shakes the heart. It means you will know willingly or unwillingly. Now, what are the core messages of these five verses? First, it tells us that it shows us that the biggest reality of life is what comes after death. Secondly, that denial does not cancel truth. Just because you deny something doesn't mean it is not true. It is not the truth. Then thirdly, that confusion comes from rejecting accountability. The Quraysh were in confusion because they rejected accountability of what happens after death. Then lastly, the certainty is coming. The only choice is when you accept it. We will inshallah continue next with how Allah establishes this truth through His creation. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.